Clement's Homebrew, coming at you with a beer review. Today we've got a unique beer. This one is Adams Stout from Liquid Hero Brewery in York, PA. And this is a 5.8% stout. It's a vanilla bean stout. So kind of a little different one here. And we're gonna go ahead and get this one cracked open. This one comes with a fun little story. The guys at the brewery had a friend named Adam who asked them to help him with a recipe for a stout. So they tinkered around with it, they brewed the stout. Adam took half of it home and they kept half, and they've been brewing it ever since, so they fondly refer to it as Adams Stout. All right, so this is a dark beer, and it's only 5.8% ABV, so very sessionable stout. It's got a tan head, but it's pretty creamy looking. So actually pretty impressive looking for a 5.8% stout. Let's get a nose on it. Oh, nice. It's probably cooler than it should be, and I'll be warming this up. But already I can smell the vanilla coming off of it. Yeah, I get some chocolate on there. I get some roasted malts on there. I get vanilla on there. All the things that you would expect. Yeah, and a hint of coffee. A little bit of a hint of coffee. So a nice aroma. That's quite a bit of aroma for a low ABV stout. Let's get a taste. Oh, I am impressed. I am very impressed to have this much flavor in a low ABV beer. I should be able to make such a fine beer at a low ABV. That would be great to have such a sessionable, tasty stout. Vanilla is very light. Not as strong as in the aroma, but it is absolutely there. A light bit of creaminess to it. You get some bitterness though. There is quite a bit of bitterness balancing this out. I think it could have been a little sweeter, and that bitterness lends to being like a really dark roasty flavors, along with some of the chocolate, as well as hints of the coffee. But everything that I got in the nose, it is right there in the beer. It's a nice tasty beer. I'm going to take a little time. I'm going to let this warm up, finalize this for you, and get some numbers. Well, I took about 8 minutes with this. It's a wonderful little beer. You can see that as I swirl, a little bit of a head builds back up. You know, you get this nice sweetness, you get this chocolate, you get the vanilla, a hint of coffee. It's a really nice balance, except the bitterness. There's just too much of a dark bitterness on it that it kind of, you get the sweetness at the very front of the taste, and then that bitterness comes and covers it all over. Rather than balancing it like it should, it just takes the whole thing down, and you're left with the bitterness in your mouth. And it's just really a shame, because I think that it has some really great flavors. Just a little tweak on there would make all the difference in the world. But otherwise, I'm really digging on the beer, I gotta tell you. And at 5.8%, you would not know this was 5.8%. You would not. It's a medium body for sure, but there's a lot of flavor. You really think that you would think it's a much bigger beer than it is. Not a lot, but much. You think about 7%, and that's significant. So nice beer. All right. So for ratings, it's pretty easy for me to say. As a stout, just on the stout area, I can't rate it super high. That bitterness just really hurts the whole thing. And I think as a stout, I got to put it at that B to B minus range. I'm going to give it an 83 for a stout. Now overall, a little different. I've got to pull it up a bit, because the fact that they've pulled off such a low ABV beer and given it some nice flavor, if it wasn't for that bitterness, man, I might pull it all the way up to like a 90, but I can't quite go there. I'm going to give it just on the upper end of the B to B plus. I'm going to give it an 86 on my overall, because I love a sessionable stout that you could drink multiple of. Most often with stouts, it's just not the case. So what a wonderful little beer. So here it is again from Liquid Hero Brewing. It's the Adams Stout. So that's what you're looking for. And this is Kevin from Clement's Homebrew saying, life is too short to drink cheap beer, and I will see you in the next beer review. Cheers.